I got a report with photographs of the Bachan alpaca with the wild dog with a snare around its neck through social media, through later sightings Kruger. Managed to find them on the road, contacted the vets. They were on standby, they were on the way, the dogs were on the road.
When we got down here, the dogs were on the road, they were still there, and we saw the male, and you could see that he had the snare around his neck and it was pretty tight, and it was doing quite a lot of damage, and his neck was very swollen. And you could see he was a bit listless. He really didn't want to follow the rest of the pack that was starting to hunt, and he was just sitting around. So you could see that he was in trouble. So we went and made some darts, got ourselves organized, and by the time we got back, he'd already moved off. So we thought actually we'd missed the opportunity to get him because he'd gone. So we went into the bush just to see if we could locate him, and luckily the rest of the pack had made a kill about 200 meters off the road, and he was standing by. So we could easily drive up to him, darted him. He went down very quickly, which was a concern to us. And I think it was because he was a bit dehydrated, he lost a lot of weight. I mean, when we got to him, we found that he wasn't breathing that well, and we helped him a little bit. I was very concerned that in fact the snare around his neck was making it difficult for him to breathe. So we pulled his tongue out, tried to open his airways up, and he started breathing, and he was actually okay, he stabilized.
The decision right there was made to put the dog in the back of the vehicle and just take it to the road where the other vets were on standby. It was under quite a lot of pain. The snare was quite bad, and they do look terrible how it was cutting into the skin. But generally the wound was clean, the other dogs had been licking the wound.
And when we examined the dog and we looked at the snare, although it had cut through the skin and into the muscles, it hadn't done any damage to vital organs like blood vessels or the windpipe or anything like that. So we took the snare out, we treated the animal, we washed out the wound. We also gave it some antibiotics to help with the infection.
It's just amazing to see how hardy these species are. I mean, as a human looking at that wound, about how deep it is, like if a human had that, if we had that wound, you would be in ICU for months because of the severity of it, And yes, the dog's obviously in pain and it looks really, really sore, but they generally can recover so quickly once the wire is taken off.